Hello. Let's talk today about rebellions. Revolution, the noble cause to turn your nation of choice from whatever type of horrid perceived oppression it currently is into another, hopefully, maybe, but maybe not, brighter future. Specifically, let's talk about the vulnerability of rebel groups. There's a discrepancy between how people envision glorious revolutionaries in the media and how people project their expectations based on that, and the way things often really are. In my Why People Join ISIS video, for example, I pointed out that recruits can project a fantasy set of expectations about what life will be like in their glorious cause, such as ascribing false qualities to the housing in the case of ISIS. When people think rebels, the first thing that comes to mind is often something along the lines of the glorious American Revolution for freedom and justice, or a popular media franchise like the Star Wars Rebel Alliance. The latter's probably going to be the more well-known outside the United States, so let's go with Star Wars. All rebel groups have a dependency on funding. If they can make money or capture resources independently, this will help mitigate risks, but wars in general are expensive. Weapons, ammunition, food, it all has to come from somewhere. Think about an organization like the Rebel Alliance, and think about how much money it costs to purchase dozens of X-Wing fighters, purchase uniforms for the rebel soldiers, purchase their blasters and food and other equipment, or if they produce some of the material themselves, imagine the costs of running the factories that produce shield generators for ships. Imagine the amount of resources that go into maintaining and repairing the engines on the various space cruisers and capital ships. Now subtract the ability to cover these things with tax money during the duration of the rebellion before the New Republic is an established government, and have the organization be completely dependent on corporate donations, private backing, or independent revenue without the same option for open taxation used by the Empire. Some backers that have a grudge with the Empire will be willing to fund you, but it's going to be risky to repeatedly provide funding long-term, especially in the early days when your rebel group is merely one of hundreds or possibly thousands of different groups functioning independently with no cohesion, where many potential backers won't even notice you exist, and few are going to be wealthy enough to give money to everybody. During the quest for credits, especially in the early days, the organization is going to be offered a lot of Faustian deals. A particularly important point I'd like to highlight is how vulnerable a relatively new rebel group is to objective hijacking. When you're in the phase where you're looking for investors to fund the glorious revolution, there's going to be people that will offer you credits or generous donations of blasters or ships or food or medical supplies, but they're going to want something small in return. It'll be insignificant at first. Maybe one of your new friends generously offers you such a large amount of food that over the course of the next 6 to 8 months, your organization grows to several times its original size because now you can feed all these extra people. But this backer now supplies 80% of your food. Your organization will suffer a significant blow if this one investor isn't happy and decides to withdraw his support. So around this time, perhaps they start making requests. Maybe there's a planet that produces a lot of food for the Empire, which happens to house a major competitor of your new friend. Or perhaps a local imperial governor that's been passing some difficult legislation and has been a thorn in the side of your new friend. So your new friend politely asks you to do a couple kidnappings here, or bomb a few facilities there. Maybe the facilities are automated, no one's going to be hurt. Perhaps the facilities will be repaired in a matter of hours, and it's just going to hurt that one imperial governor's career. No one's going to starve. It'll sound like such a great plan. But do you really have the option to turn it down and refuse it if you wanted to? Keep in mind, there's hundreds of other rebel groups, and they'd all love your friend's generous donations. If you don't feel like bombing a simple automated facility, your friend will be able to find someone who is. So is this person really your friend? Regardless, however, the fact remains the same. The organization or politician that is willing to play ball will have a financial supply and growth advantage over the organization or politician that is not. If you're a rebel group fighting a galaxy-spanning empire, you're not just competing for the hearts and minds of people with the empire, but with the hundreds to thousands of other organizations that are also looking to recruit, grow, obtain the support of investors, and if someone else is willing to do things you're not willing to have your brand of rebellion associated with, then perhaps you won't get as generous donations as someone else. Or you could agree to do certain favors in secret and keep the brand of truth and justice pure by trading favors behind closed doors. That's always a fun road to go down. Besides, you can still build that bright future. You can still create that new system of truth and justice. No one needs to know the rules were bent a little to get there. That can stay between you and your friends. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.